Hello everyone and welcome back to another pick a card from your fave CashApp. So a couple things to keep in mind is if the message is not hidden, it's not for you. This is a general message. So it's, there's a lot of people's energy that I'm tapping into in this moment. And also I am not taking any personal readings right now. Hopefully soon-ish. I don't know when that's going to be, but we'll figure it out. So right now, your guides would love to deliver a few messages to you through me. So definitely take a minute to intuitively pick pile number 1, 2, or 3, okay? And and I set the intention that these messages are going to be timeless. So no matter when you're listening to these messages, I do feel like there's at least something in there for you. So take your time, enjoy whatever, comes out, because I do believe that there's going to be certain messages that are meant for you. And sending you love, so go ahead and get into your message. And the timestamps are below, so you can just hop straight to 1, 2, or 3. So good luck, love you. Hello, pile number 1. So I'm going to start off with your tarot cards first, and then we'll get to your oracle cards, but I haven't seen those yet, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, let's see. Let's see what your guides from heaven have to say right now. Spirit, angels, and guides of love and light. What messages do you have for pile number 1? Okay. So, messages from heaven. So, what I'm feeling, we'll start off with the 9 of Wands right here. So, with the 9 of Wands, I'm feeling that, like, you're very guarded right now. You're very guarded right now. And I'm also hearing that since there's a lot of red in this card, in order for you to receive love, you have to give love, but you also have to be open to receiving that love. Because there could have been some things in the past, like with this 5 of Pentacles card. There could have been some things in the past where individuals did not treat you the best. And, because the 9 of Wands is someone who is just has a huge barrier between himself and the outside world. And I feel as though, you were just really tired. That's what I'm feeling. You're just feeling so tired. And your guides want you to know that when you're feeling really low and you're not sure what to do, and you're a little too caught in your head, paying attention to lack mindsets, like you don't have enough money, you don't have enough this or that, or enough, or you don't feel like you're enough. Your guides, and it could be one of a past family member that's a female. And every single time you feel this low, she's always there to comfort you. But with the 4 of Cups, I'm seeing that your guides are trying to offer you things in the realm of emotional fulfillment and love, because the cups represent your emotions. So they're trying to give you options to build up your confidence again, because we go from the Four of Cups to the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is just pure like nurturing energy. She knows who she is. She knows how to properly take care of herself and nurture herself and nurture others. And the Pentacles is a earth element, or it represents the earth element. So it's constantly trying to stay balanced and grounded. But you're not accepting, because of things that happened in the past, you're not seeing any blessings that your guides are trying to present to you at this moment. So you need to be, like going back to what I said before, you need to be open to receiving. And you also need to take some time to rest as well, because it feels like you've been fighting for a really long time. But now, you need to rest. And since this particular ancestor or angel that is coming to you to always comfort you in these dark times, I feel like you need to find a way to honor them. And it could be something simple, like speaking out to them, asking them to show you signs that they're present, that they're there, because they will show up every single time. It never fails. This particular nurturing energy could, she's just, I don't know who this is per se, but she's giving off just queen energy, just nurturing energy, and she wants to take care of you and protect you. And she wants you to also get to this level where you feel stable and secure within yourself and your finances. But you have to be open to receiving, because there's some moments where we feel so low that we stay in that realm, we stay in these cycles, and we don't see any blessings with what's going on, because we're too wrapped in our head. And your guides really want you to kind of take a risk, and it doesn't have to be, and it could really be anything. Take a risk on love, finances, a new job opportunity that actually suits your needs, that's actually best for you. And now is also the time to release a lot of the things that have been haunting you from your past and that are keeping you from receiving this love and nurturing that you truly deserve. And you also have to find a way to nurture yourself as well. And like with the Five of Pentacles, in the traditional Rider-Waite Coleman deck, the wounded man is wearing a bell around his neck because he's a leper. And so you have to be really mindful not to bring attention to your insecurities and your weaknesses, because again, you're not seeing how those things could be your greatest strength. Back to the Queen of Pentacles. You don't see how those things can, how those tools and what you've learned from your past can be utilized in the future. But again, you're kind of focusing a little too much on the past, and your guides really want you to kind of just take a step back for a second. And I think, once you take time to rest and once you take time to just kind of nurture yourself, you'll be able to start on this new adventure. Because there's a lot of different elements in this image of the Fool card, because there's like waves back here, the sun is beaming, the dog is kind of like the companion, but also could be the individual who's like warning you of certain things that are going to happen in the future if you're not aware. But because of the things that you've gone through in the past, you're going to be much more aware this time around. So you don't have to be so fearful of going through the same things again. You don't have to be fearful of having to kind of you don't have to be so fearful to where you close yourself off from the world and close yourself off from not only things that you're trying to protect yourself from, but also things that could be a blessing, but you wouldn't know because you're just you're just creating that boundary just with everything. And so there could be you could be extremely creative. You could also have a lot of great ideas that could be very lucrative, or your guides are trying to give you new ideas and opportunities that could be lucrative as well. So you can build this financial foundation that you need. And also with the King of Rods, the rods represent your passion and your drive and creativity. And there's also a lot of red in this image as well. So I'm feeling there's a lot of red too. Because red represents, your livelihood, your lifeblood, passion, fire, desire, but also pain. So I think your guides want you to flip that pain and transmute it into something that could be beneficial. So if you've been through a lot of traumatic experiences, as an example, you could turn that into an ebook, to kind of, just tell your story and to show others that they're not alone, if that makes sense. So that's just an example of how you can transmute your pain into something that could be very lucrative. Or you could also transmute your pain and put it into art, like a lot of musicians put their pain in their songs. Or artists, they start painting or drawing or whatever, so that's something. So that could be another way for you to understand your emotions a little bit better, but also to just get them out. You also could be a creative writer as well. Writing is a very simple and easy way to kind of just get your emotions out onto paper, so they're not just stuck in your head and you're not just like constantly rethinking these same thoughts or whatever. Because if you're having these same like really terrible thoughts, I strongly recommend just journaling them out. Because I know a lot of people can't afford therapy, but journaling is free-ish depending on how much the journal and pens and whatever else you wanna do, or whatever else you want to incorporate with the whole journaling process. But it's going to help you to kind of just get out those thoughts that keep just nagging at you, because you're just stuck right in this area right here. In these 3 cards, this is where you're at. And you also might receive new information through writing as well, or through creating in whatever way you see fit too. So let's get into your oracle cards and see what else your guides want you to say. Ooh, okay, this one wants to speak first. Yep, look at that. This is the same energy right here too. The journey, that's definitely with the Fool as well. Okay, so with the Queen, I'm gonna start with this one first. With the Queen of Roses, this is very Queen of Pentacles energy right here. Because I'm feeling that like I'm just picking up on this feminine energy. They may not be a woman per se, but they might be an individual that has a lot of feminine energy. Like they could be very nurturing and caring and very giving. But I also believe from this particular ancestor or guide, you have a lot of these same traits. Yeah, there's so much red. Whoa, this is wild. Yeah, this is so interesting. But again, roses, because there's also the white rose in this image as well. Because the white rose represents your intuition. And red roses is passion and drive. So you need to marry the two in order to fully understand where you need to go as far as your journey. Because that's definitely the Fool card as well with this one. With this card, this is the same type of message. And I also believe that, once you're able to kind of get out of your own head, you're going to see things a lot clearer as well. And your guides also want you to prepare for a new phase in your journey. That's definitely the energy of the Fool. and we have the 7 right here, and 7 is all about spiritual alignment. So you're actually your intuition is much more in tune than you think, but you just, again, you have to get out of your own head, because there's too much noise at this moment. And once you're able to kind of just get out that excess noise however you choose, through like meditation, journaling. And meditation doesn't look like you sitting, crisscross applesauce somewhere and like chanting. It can look like if you make music, if you make art, if you love to cook, if cleaning is meditative for you, do that. Actually, you probably do need to clean up your space. That might be something you need to do, because that also helps. Like, if there's clutter around you, that adds on to the anxiety and frustration and just stagnant feelings that are kind of hitting you all at once right now. Because I feel like, definitely embrace what you're feeling. Your feelings are completely valid. Don't get it twisted. But you can't stay there, because you're missing out on so much. Your guides want to give you so much, especially this one particular feminine energy. And there's a journey that you're going to be prepared for. And maybe there was like a business venture that you did in the past and it didn't quite work out. But again, first take your time, prepare, because maybe you weren't fully prepared the first time. And that's okay. That's something that happens when you're trying to build something from the ground up. There's always going to be trial and error. And if you're doing something that has never been done before, there's not a lot of resources to just tell you exactly what you have to do. You kind of have to take different elements and kind of put them together in order to create the life that you want. Like with roses and plants, you start off with a seed, and then you have to put, fertilizer, water. You got to make sure there's the right pH balance, and maybe add in some worms to get this, to get the nutrients just kind of flowing within the soil. Like, there's so many different aspects that you have to do in order to have a luscious rose garden. And, and also with a journey on a boat, there's so much that you have to do in order to prepare for this journey. But you have to start somewhere. And you have to push away those thoughts that are hindering you from growing and hindering you from evolving. Because again, your guides want you to be sitting pretty, but you got to start the journey eventually. You can't sit here scared of what's going to happen, and then it's like you never get started. Because if you never get started, then it's never going to get done. And then that's going to create even more anxiety, and you're going to consistently be in this realm where you just feel like you're not good enough, you're lacking, but you're lacking just whatever you're lacking in this moment, whether that be finances, stability, things in that realm. But consistently remind yourself that you are more than enough. You are more than capable of achieving everything. But you have to start, and you have to start preparing. And preparing may not look like, if it's a business venture, it may not look just like, getting all these different sources for business. Preparing could also look like healing and resting and taking your time. Because I feel that you have a very rebellious spirit, and you're a very passionate individual because there is so much red. So yeah, that's probably what happened. The first time around, you just got a little too excited and just kind of went full force into a specific direction without thinking things through at first. And then once things didn't work out, you just kind of shut down and shielded yourself off from the world. And this could be within a relationship or a business or partnership, whatever. But you can't sit around and not do anything for too much longer. because it's eating you up. So it's just like, you got to start creating. You got to just start doing something. Because the life of luxury is yours, but you got to put in the work, you know? So a couple of words of advice that we have from your guides. Ask body and the sage. So here's, if you can see that clearly. Ask body, and then the sage. So with ask body, I'm feeling like, yeah, you're just burnt out, man. You're just burnt out. Yeah, and I'm seeing, yeah, there's so much red. Like, you're such a fierce person, and you're so driven, and you want to complete so much, but again, you don't have the stamina, you don't have the energy right now. You have to take a break. You have to take a break from overthinking. You need to take a break from just trying to push forward, even though your body is not ready. It's not ready. Because you need time to heal. Because normally in some other depictions of the Nine of Wands, this individual looks very beat up. He's wearing 2 different shoes, has a bandage around his head similar to the person in this card. So yeah, life has not been very kind to you, which, you know, I've been there. So if your body's telling you to rest, you need to rest. And I think in those states of rest, yeah, because there's like this person kind of resting because their eyes are closed in this, in the 4 of Cups. So yeah, you gotta rest, man. You gotta take time to rest. And sorry I keep saying man, that's just, I don't know why that's been something. Like, I don't mean it. It's not supposed to be like gender specific. It's just, I just say it. So please don't be upset with me. I'm not trying to be offensive at all. I don't know. I'm trying to work on it, but it slips out sometimes. So we're growing, we're evolving, we're getting there. And then with the sage, you could be very connected to the moon, because we do have this moon right up here. You can see that clearly. Maybe you do need to burn some sage. And yeah, the sage is someone who's very intuitive, very powerful, and it's more wand energy. Yeah, you're a very creative individual. You're so nurturing, and your guides are also very nurturing as well. So you definitely get that from your guides. And there's like teeth dangling as well. Yeah, you gotta, if you're having dreams about your teeth falling out, that's a clear sign that you need to rest. You need to just take a break, however that looks, and try to take a break in a healthy way. Taking breaks does not mean scrolling through TikTok and social media. That's going to create more anxiety, because you're going to see all these people who are further along on their journey, and you're just getting started, and that's going to create more anxiety because you feel like you're supposed to be further along, but in reality you are right where you're supposed to be. But in this moment you have to heal, and I feel like this healing is going to help others as well. I'm not sure how, because that's your journey to figure out, but I think, again, you have a very nurturing energy, because there is so much red in the roses, and you're picking up the same nurturing energy from your guides as well. And you're an entrepreneur, yeah. So there must have been something that you started and it just didn't quite work out. But again, keep going, because when it comes, there's so many like stories that I hear about business owners, and they've created like 4, 5, 6 different businesses. Each one of them failed, and it wasn't until like the 6th that they were able to they just learned from their mistakes and they just learned, and it wasn't, and they don't regret anything that they went through, because it taught them how to be a better business person. And it's like, and with the Fool card, it is ruled by the planet Uranus, And Uranus is a very revolutionary, unpredictable kind of energy. So that definitely explains everything that's happening in the world, because everything right now in the world is so unpredictable and so like everything is changing so rapidly. So it's like you can't be so down on yourself when everything around us is not quite stable. Like we're still trying to figure things out globally and nationally, and then it kind of goes down. It kind of breaks down even further, but it's just like it's a lot, and a lot of other individual a lot of other individuals are dealing with the same thing right now, where they're just a little caught up in their own thoughts, and that's okay. But I think you definitely need to, once you take time to rest, you're definitely going to be like this jaguar in this card, just ready to go. And also pay attention to the moon cycles and your emotions as well, because that could play a role as well. Because I know when there's a new moon, I typically don't have a lot of energy, and so I rest and just listen to my guides. And I always have like a lot of new ideas and new information coming in from my guides. And I normally use journaling, and I write, and sometimes I just write whatever I'm feeling, and then I look back at it and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, that's a great message, that's something that I probably need to work on and heal. There's a lot of things that come up. And then the full moon is a perfect time to release different emotions, especially since that's what the moon represents. So keep those things in mind. What thoughts need to be released, what emotions need to be released, how do you need to release those emotions in the healthiest way, and focus on healing yourself as well. So let's get some affirmations for you, and then I have one more card for you, and then we're gonna end your reading. Okay, so let's see, what do you have? Count number 1, Spirit. So we have discern. Fennel. Trigger statement, it's not my fault. True statement, I take full responsibility. Shift into your body and listen. Look at that. Release the emotions you have been storing and move. Look, what? Spirits. Okay, look, you heard what they said. Listen to your body. Shift into your body. Magnolia. Amplify. Trigger statement, I can't get anything right. True statement, I am in divine time. Harness your loving energy and watch as one miracle unfolds after the other. Look at... Your guys want you to win. The universe wants you to win. God wants you to win. But you got to get out of your own way, which is normally the hardest part, which is, I know, sometimes very frustrating, but here we are. But yeah, I talked about that divine time because the 7 represents alignment, being in line with the universe. So you're exactly where you need to be. And there's a reason why you're going through all of these different things. Because I believe at first you went from being maybe like the knight, because you were an entrepreneur, and the knight is normally a very fast-paced energy. They don't really think things very clearly at first. They don't think things through before they jump to one opportunity. But your guides are trying to push you into this energy where you're the Queen of Pentacles, and no matter what you identify as, this is very nurturing, prosperous, abundant. There's a lot of and also the Queen of Pentacles is normally depicted as being pregnant, so you could have a lot of ideas coming to the forefront. They're in your ideas are in utero. I guess that's how you say it. And so your guides are pushing you into this Queen of Pentacles energy and pushing you into this King of Rods energy, you know, just like the wind catching the being caught by the sails or whatever. I guess that's how you say it. I don't do boats, but you're following me. Just like the wind that's getting caught in the sails, like the boat is being pushed. You know, yes, you can kind of steer in certain directions, but there are a lot of moments where you don't have much control. And your guides are just wanting you to kind of just flow with it. Allow your emotions to flow. Get them out. If you need to cry. Cry that shit out. Your tears are nurturing the soil of all these new seeds that are trying to come through. Oof. Okay, uplifting. Cheerful. Trigger statement, I am powerless. Truth statement, I am excited to see what the future brings. The future is bright. Enjoy knowing that your optimism today fuels your amazing tomorrow. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, because of the red, that's also giving me very, like, optimistic energy as well. So yeah, you got this. You really do got this. But like, you gotta first things first. Rest, cry, clean up your room, clean up your space, like clean up your house, like whatever your situation is, clean. Cleanliness is close to godliness. They don't say that for no reason, you know, and that is just gonna help. And you know, but like when you're comfortable and your external world is clean, then you can kind of focus on your internal world and just kind of figure things out and move from there. So your last card, we have labradorite, which is a gorgeous stone. I love this stone because I have one myself. Hopefully you can see like the different colors. This camera's probably not gonna do it much justice, but anyway, we have transformation, magic, imagination. A stone of transition, labradorite assists in times of change and transformation. It expands our connection with the universe, unlocking the third eye and all the wondering that lies beyond the physical realm, as well as your magical powers. Labradorite invokes the magic we all have, reminding us to wield our power by going within and connecting to the core truths of who we are. Chasing after your dreams and aligning yourself with the vibration of anything is possible. In energy, labradorite is all too familiar with. This aligns with Neptune, Jupiter, Leo, Scorpio, Sagittarius. So you could be either of those signs or have a lot of those placements that are really active in your natal chart, or they were active at the time of your birth, and they play a really big role in your life at this moment. But yeah, you're so magical. Like, you've really got this. You just gotta take a break for a minute. Take a break, plan, reanalyze, reorganize. And also Jupiter is in retrograde right now. So to us, it looks like it's moving backwards, but it's actually just going really, really slow in the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius energy is all about friendships, humanitarianism, and technology. So use technology in a way that's actually going to benefit you. Do research on ways to heal. Do research on ways to create a better business model for yourself. Maybe even like journal prompts to make sure that you're targeting those elements of yourself that need healing and a little bit more TLC. Because like with roses, they can't just grow anywhere. They need the right conditions, they need the right water, they need the right temperament, they need the right everything, and that's you right now. Oof. That's so interesting, yeah. Because roses, they also are so gorgeous, but they have thorns. So it's like they're beautiful, but also like protecting themselves, you know, as if they've been through a lot. And I believe that's you as well. You're going through a huge transformation phase. So once you take time to heal, really kind of fantasize about what you want, and then write down those fantasies, use your imagination, and see if you can use the internet to bring those things into fruition, to create like a plan of action for yourself. Okay, pile number 1. That's all that I have for you. I am truly wishing you the best. Sending you love, sending you light. You know, your guides love you and they are here for you. You just got to reach out to them. All right, so wishing you the best. Have a good one, okay? Bye. Hello, pile number 2. So let's go ahead and get into your tarot cards, and then we're going to get into your aura cards, which I have not seen yet, so I don't know what's going to come out. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great reading. They've all been great thus far, so... And I'm sorry if the shuffling is a little too loud for anyone wearing headphones. Alright, Spirit, what you got for pile number 2? Ooh. Okay, alright. Okay. Okay. First card that popped out was the Magician. The Alchemist. Definitely read that book if you have not, because it's really amazing. I need to revisit it, actually. So the Magician is someone who's able to, so as above, so below is what a lot of Hermetic teachings, a lot of Hermetic teachings will say that, or that is one of the main principles of Hermetic teachings. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. So whatever is happening in the angelic or earthly realms, I'm sorry, what's happening, Spirit? I'm getting so many different messages. So it's like I'm trying to keep my thoughts straight, but I'm getting a lot of different messages all at once. So I'm trying to, because this is a general message, so like feeling a lot of people's energies. So let me back up. The Magician is an individual who is able to utilize the energy that's being felt in the heavenly realms and transmute that into the earthly realms by creating by transmuting that energy into something physical. You know, in a long story short, manifestation. You know, you're using your thoughts and your inner power in order to create what you want on this earthly realm. All right, Spirit. So essentially you have everything you need in order to manifest your desires. And I feel like that's a trait that you have gotten from either one of your ancestors or one of your guides that are watching over you heavily. They are, you know, master manifestors, and they're able to bring things into the physical realm very quickly if you're able to kind of get out of your own head. And, you know, we'll get to this card in a second, the 8 of Swords. So with all of the elements that are on the table, of course, you know, the Magician has his wand. Then you have the Pentacles, which is earth, you know, your finances, stability, also the heart space as well. Then you have the Wands, which is your passion, drives, creativity. Then you have the Swords, which is the way you think, the way you communicate. And then the Cups, which is your emotions and your intuition. So you have all of these things in balance, but you have to make sure that you're consistently staying in balance. And nothing's wrong if you kind of fall off just for a little bit, you know, but the important thing is to get back up. You know, and the best way to do this, like if you have a lot of Scorpio energy, as an example, Scorpios are very good at manifesting because they use whenever they're obsessed or they care about something so much or they're so driven, they use all of those emotions that they have within them in order to kind of project them, project? Yes, whatever. In order to propel, that's what I was trying. There we go, it came out. In order to propel them into this next phase that they're trying to get to. So that, I feel like that's what you kind of have to take advantage of. So whatever passionate feelings that you're feeling right now, use that to your advantage. Use that as your fuel, as your livelihood, lifeblood. This energy, it runs through your veins. It's in your DNA. I don't know who this is. I'm feeling that it's more so an ancestor that could have passed away some time ago, but they were also a very powerful manifester, and now you have that within, it's in your bloodline. Ooh. Kudos to you. But we have the Six of Cups. And this particular ancestor, whether they be masculine or feminine or whoever they were, it doesn't, the gender doesn't matter so much. They're trying to give you more information and more blessings and more ways to kind of utilize this power. And you also, since there's a lot of white flowers, you have to come at it from a very delicate and innocent perspective. Because if you're trying to manifest for the wrong reasons, it's not going to fall through like you think it's going to fall through. And I think that's a very important to think about. You have to make sure that your intentions are in line with your highest good, but also to make sure that whatever you're trying to bring in on this earthly realm is going to be beneficial for everyone as a whole as well. As an example, if you're this is a weird example, I don't know where it's coming from, but say for instance you're buying a lot of plastic water bottles. That's not very good for everyone as a whole, because a lot of places aren't able to properly recycle. So it's like, you're manifesting water and nourishment and things like that, but the tools that you're using are not correct. A water bottle is very detrimental to the earth. I don't know why that's the example. I hope you understand. But your intentions have to be right in order for everything to kind of flow through, because the last thing that you want is to get karma involved in a negative way, and that's just gonna bite you in the ass every time. Look at all these politicians and shit, like things are falling apart left and right and they cannot keep up. Them bitches are trying to escape. But anyway, so then we have the Ace of Swords. So yeah, your guys are trying to give you emotional stability and a lot of, this is also, it's like your ancestors and your guides are trying to give you a lot of different things that are going to create emotional fulfillment, which is why your intentions are so important, because you need to make sure that they're actually going to benefit you on an emotional level. And back to the Ace of Swords, your guides are gonna, because there's like the hand coming out of the sky, so your guides are going to be presenting you with a lot of great ideas. But this is a double-edged sword. So if your intention, if you're not utilizing these ideas in the right way, it's either going to cut you, or you're going to be able to chop through any obstacles that come about. And then we have the red rose, which is all about your passion and drive, and then the white rose, which is your intuition and your emotions. So you have to marry the two, like I said, with the magician. The magician is someone who's able to transmute their pain and their emotions into their drive, in order to move forward. But they also use their intuition to make sure that they're going in the right direction. And then you have the Four of Pentacles. So yeah, you're gonna, once you kind of master these different things. And I also strongly recommend listening to your ancestors as well, because they're sending you messages, and something big is going to kind of come through pretty soon here, if it hasn't already. But you're going to be able to take something very stable and then kind of double it, because you go from the 4 of Pentacles to the 7. So this idea, you're going to have to nurture it, and because this is like a garden, you're going to have to nurture it. You can't just sit here you can't just sit here and hang on to what you have. You need to make sure that you're investing your energy, your time, your effort, your money in the right places, so that you go from this kind of stagnant kind of sitting energy to something that's going to be very nourishing and going to blossom into a huge abundant garden, if that makes sense. But there's going to be moments where you're probably already in this energy where you're just in your head. It could be like a imposter syndrome, or your emotions. Sometimes your emotions could kind of become too much. You could be a water sign. Yeah, your emotions sometimes can get overwhelming, and that's okay. But if there's any moments where you're feeling like you're not moving in the right direction, or you're not sure where you're going, these are all your thoughts getting in the way of your growth. And you could get out, and the thing about our thoughts is that you can get out of that energy. Because I feel like right now you're going from the Magician to the 8 of Swords, where you manifest, and then sometimes it may not be coming quick enough, because this man is like looking off into the distance instead of paying attention to what's right in front of him. So it's like you're paying too much, you're looking too far into the future. Your guides want you to stay present, because you're looking too far into the future and not paying attention to all the amazing ideas and seeds that you've planted, thus far. Because if you're not paying attention to a plant, that bitch will die in a minute. And it's the same thing with your ideas and, the ideas that are going to be coming through. You need to make sure that you're putting in the work. And I recommend this to everyone. If social media, sir, dude, I mean, that's a sign right there. Your thoughts just got you hella confused, hella just all over the place. Because social media, I tell, people this all the time, because I do it my damn self, where I get too caught up in social media, and then people are on level 10, and then I'm on, level 7, and I'm too concerned about what they're doing, and I'm not paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing and the blessings that I already have in front of me. And it's also like, you can't rush a plant to grow. Just like your ideas, you can't rush them to get to the level that you want, because there's a lot of different elements that you need before it gets to a certain level. And again, if you want to create something stable and something that's going to last damn near generations, then you have to make sure you put in the work. You gotta focus, because it's not, and just because things aren't moving as quickly as you think doesn't mean that you're failing, or doesn't mean that you're not doing a good enough job. It just means that it has to take time. And then we have the Star. Yeah, I'm listening. You are the Star. You're absolutely amazing. You're extremely talented. All of your ideas are so unique and revolutionary. And you're such a genuine and vulnerable person. And again, it's like this individual is pouring into this little puddle, but also pouring into the earth as well. So nurturing herself and making sure that what she's doing is nurturing others. So like I mentioned with the magician, you need to make sure that like your intentions are going to be something that's going to create longevity. And normally longevity equals making sure that like you're taking care of yourself, but you're also taking care of others as well. Or your decisions are benefiting everyone as a whole. And not saying that you gotta like give all your money to someone, or donations are important. Donations are definitely important, but this is also about, you could also be definitely like a humanitarian as well. Mother Gaia could be very influential in where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. Taking care of, or showing others how to take care of the earth. That's probably why I mentioned the plastic bottles. It's all coming together. Mother Gaia is wanting to also use your gifts in order to make sure that people take care of the earth, because this is the only earth that we have. And like I mentioned with the politicians, it's like for generations, they put us in jobs that is actually harming the earth, and they're, stuffing their pockets to the brim. And now that karma is trying to get their asses, they're trying to escape. Some of them in fucking rockets. But karma doesn't miss. And you're going to be receiving a lot of really, really good karma. You're already receiving it with this 6 of Cups right here. Because not only are you doing very well in this life, but you're also doing very well, or you did very well in your past life as well, or you're receiving positive karma from what you've done in the past or in a past life. So your goal on this earth, and your goal where your guides are trying to steer you, is much bigger than you think. Your purpose is much bigger than you think. That's why it feels like it's taking so long, because it's we only see a small portion of this person's garden, but in actuality it's like acres, in which that takes some time. And you're only seeing this one small, like you have blinders on. It's this one small perspective, this one small area of your life that you see is not moving fast enough, but it's going to get there. Are you a nudist? I'm totally kidding, but not really. Oh, I'm sorry. But this person is naked in nature. So I'm definitely feeling like spend more time in nature, do some meditating. I think I recommend that all the time. And meditating also doesn't have to look like that. It could just be going for a walk, chilling in the sun for a little bit, stargazing. Meditating can also be cleaning, cooking, doing music, being creative. And whatever you're trying to build for yourself, you're going to be, again, it's going to be nourishing for you, but also nourishing for others as well. Okay, let's get some more cards. Ooh. Okay. So we have Uriel and the Sphinx. In reflection. I'm just listening. Yeah, I did say spend time outside stargazing. You might not be from this earth. In a past life, you could have been another entity. Okay, so you could have been, I want to say, Lyran or Pleiadian. Those are extraterrestrial beings that are far older than humans. Stay with me. I know this sounds wild, but stay with me because they're out there, I promise. But Lyrans are very just loving and caring. They care about the earth. They just want to spread love. And then Pleiadian are very creative individuals. They have a green thumb. You might also have a green thumb as well. You might get a lot of really great ideas you might get a lot of really, really great ideas at night. Or especially maybe even during the full moons as well. Yeah, because this person is gazing at the moon. Yeah. So I feel like and also in your dreams as well, there's a lot of memories locked within your subconscious too, good and bad. And I can't really provide a safe way to do a past life regression or anything like that, because I did it accidentally and that was wild. But there are a lot of resources, and I will definitely link them down in the description box, to heal certain aspects of your subconscious. And it could be surrounding negative thoughts and things like that that might not be yours. They could have been projected onto or they could have been projections from other individuals. And so I believe that you need to shed some light on that to make sure that your intentions are correct when manifesting. Because your guides don't want you to make the same mistakes that they did. And didn't I say something about your DNA? Yeah, it's in your blood. Like, this is okay. I'm getting excited. And I'm just trying to make sure that I explain all the messages that I'm receiving as clearly as possible. Oh, reptilian. Reptilians are the individuals that are, that's also another extraterrestrial being as well. And they also have a very green thumb. They also are they're very quiet and very quiet, very sweet, very reserved. And also your intuition is very on point, because that's the moon, and this card is definitely kind of giving me that hint as well. And again, you receive a lot of great ideas at night. You probably work at nights sometimes as well, because is the way this person is looking at the card. And then also with Uriel and the Sphinx, Archangel Uriel is an individual who, whenever you feel their presence, you get a lot of tension or kind of pressure on your third eye. Yeah, your intuition is sharp right now. Yeah, and I mentioned, melding your passions with your intuition is gonna okay, there's a lot coming through. So there's going to be a lot of different new ideas coming into you in your dreams and at night. If you are someone who smokes weed, I strongly suggest taking a break from smoking weed, at least during Leo season, because the Sphinx, the way that it's aimed, it's aiming directly at the constellation Leo. Like, it lines up with Leo zodiac constellation during Leo season, if that makes sense. Hopefully I said that correctly. But so you need to keep that in mind, because your guides are really going to be giving you a lot of information on how to evolve, how to nurture the ideas and the seeds that you've already planted thus far. Maybe even how to get out of your own head as well. But also different ways that you can nurture yourself and nurture Mother Gaia as well. Because there's a lot of greenery in these cards. So you for real might have a green thumb. That could be like a form of meditation for you as well. Be like a tree hugger or something like that. Because also with the star, it's someone who is, yeah, that's definitely giving very Lyran energy. Just very vulnerable, very sweet, just very much an individual who is trying to just give to others, just expressing love. And if you, one of the traits of a Lyran that would kind of give a telltale sign that you come from this particular lineage is if you've ever kind of in the past attracted a lot of narcissistic partners or co-workers even. Yeah, but during this Leo season, there's going to be a lot of information coming through to you because your guys really want you to speak on it. I mean, I said that. That's what I said. They really want you to speak on it. They really want you to stand up in your truth. They really want you to focus on healing so that so right now you're kind of in this very vulnerable state, or you want to end up in this space where you just feel very vulnerable, and you're going to be paying more attention to self-care and how your actions affect you and everyone as a whole, but also how to create a stable foundation on your own authenticity. How to create you, and it could be something business related, and so how to create a brand around your own authenticity. How to use your brand in order to spread love, to help Mother Gaia during this Leo season. And if there are moments where you are just getting a little too caught up in your thoughts, take time to reflect, take time to journal. Don't feel like you're in a rush, because again, like I said with the garden, I'm feeling like the garden is much more bigger than what we can see in this image. And again, you have to take time to reflect, just be like, you know what? I'm gonna get there because I'm gonna fucking get there. This boat is going to get to its destination, even though there's probably no wind at that, this time of night, but he's still going to get to his destination. So you just have to be confident within yourself and confident with your own abilities, because you are a very powerful manifester. And yeah, you got this. I'm excited for you. So we also have, patience. Makes sense. Hopefully that's, there we go, in frame. Higher perspective and versatility. So with patience, there's a turtle shell. Slow and steady wins the race. That's what I just heard. And again, there's still a lot of greenery around this shell as well. And there's roots too. Like this, they are rooted in who they are, what they're trying to do. Rooted, all like everything around them is just nourishment. All this plant life. And then higher perspective, like I mentioned, like I mentioned with your third eye is open and activated right now, because I mentioned that with Archangel Uriel. He could be, I believe that Uriel is one of your guides as well. So again, like I mentioned before, you know, with this man in the garden and the Seven of Pentacles, you got to look at everything from a higher perspective, because your decisions are not just affecting you, because you're trying to build things that are going to be for the long run. This isn't going to be something that's going to just kind of, this isn't going to be like a one-hit wonder kind of situation. You know, you have to make sure that like every decision that you make is going to be the best for you, and is going to be. No doubt about that. Then we have versatility. It looks like, didn't I mention weed? Okay. Focus. Okay. So I don't think it's supposed to be weed, but it definitely does look like weed. So I'm feeling that okay. A couple things that I've done is I would put crystals on my weed. Maybe like labradorite, which is like this crystal right here, or selenite, which is this crystal right here. This is this crystal is one that I used all the time, because every single time that I charged my weed with that crystal, I would get intense downloads, like right after the other, just ideas after the other, because the selenite connects with the angelic realm, and it kind of opens your third eye, opens that gateway to allow these different ideas and everything to come in. You know, like we have the Ace of Swords right here as well. Yeah, you about to have some fun. So I know this is, I can't remember what, I believe it's like a type of maple actually, but it looks like weed. I don't know. Yeah, here we are. So with this card, I'm feeling like, first of all, at night, what I would do is, of course, charge my weed with selenite. That's like my favorite crystal to charge my weed with, because every single time I would get such intense messages from my guides and my angels especially. But I would also stop smoking around like 6 o'clock, because I would try to go to bed kind of early to make sure I get like a good night's sleep. So I would stop smoking at like 6 o'clock, the latest 7, to kind of get the, you know, make sure the weed would kind of get out of my system by the time I'm ready to actually go to bed, because weed can mess up your dreams. And I feel like you're going to be receiving a lot of information in your dreams. And if you're smoking during the daytime, after charging your weed with one of the crystals, and again, you use whatever calls to you, you know, like if you go into a crystal shop and one particular crystal is just calling your name, use that crystal. But for me, I feel like starting off, selenite was just one of my favorites that I used. And it just, every single time every single time I would smoke, I'm like, okay, where's my journal? Where is my pen? Let's get it in. Bars. I'm kidding. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm feeling. So I'm excited for you, because I don't know what ideas are going to come through, but they're going to come through. So utilize, because THC is not from Earth. Fascinating enough. Because there have been, yeah, it's not from Earth. I don't know where it's from, but it ain't from here. Okay, so we actually have a crystal for you right now. This is another card that I wanted to put. Actually, I'm not going to read this first. We're going to get some affirmations first before we get into the crystal. And then that's going to end your reading. So what affirmations do you have, Spirit? This Leo season is going to be very big for you. I'm excited for you. All right, Spirit. All right. All right. I didn't expect this many cards to come out, but here we are. The first one that came out is Rosemary. Wisdom. Trigger statement, it doesn't make sense. True statement, I see the bigger picture. You are moving towards a deeper level of understanding. From knowledge to wisdom, take time to absorb the lessons. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you've gone through in your past life and currently, and you need to make sure that you're taking notes, because they're going to end up influencing what you do in the future. And they could also help a lot, and because we had, I'll put this down here. We also had the Six of Cups as well. So I do feel as though it could have been things. There could be a lot of different things that are coming up from your past life as well. And yeah, there's a lot of knowledge that's coming through. Because you, as above, so below. So your guides are going. Yeah, it's just. There's going to be a lot of information coming to you. It's probably already happening, but definitely, it probably are started during this Leo season. And then we have cedarwood. Connection. Trigger statement, it is too much. True statement, I am grounded in my body. Use your empathetic abilities to connect with others. Didn't I mention? No, Pleiadian individuals are very, if you have that in your bloodline, they are very empathetic. Side note. Discern the information you receive and do not take on what is not your own. So yeah, if there are certain things that have happened in your past life, and they don't really benefit you in the present, leave it where it is. If there's any ideas, any thought patterns, any ways of being, if that's not who you are, don't take it to heart. Just keep it pushing. And then we have centering. Align. Trigger statement, I feel conflicted. True statement, I am true to my highest self. Your focus needs to turn within to reflect on stories that are not true for you. They're not just, Lord. Love is the way through. Yes. Because I mentioned, of course, reflecting on, I said that, reflect on anything that's just not serving you. And that could be literally anything. It could be physical things that you probably need to give away. It could be mindsets, patterns, ways of being. And it's time, because you can't, like with the Eight of Swords, you're probably identifying your own authenticity with things that don't correlate with where you're trying to go or who you are at your core. And so you need to take time to reflect and figure out maybe what affirmations, and hopefully you use these affirmations that are in these cards to make sure that you're staying in the right mindset during this process. And then we have juniper berry. Projection. Trigger statement, my mind does not rest. True statement, I listen to my higher self. Look at each story that repeats itself in your mind as a stranger would. Ask yourself, is this true? Exactly. Is that shit true? No? Then that's not for you. Look, your thoughts are like this damn gnat that keeps flying around this bitch. They just keep coming in randomly. And then just like, that's not the sound that the gnat makes, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. It's just like, okay, that does not identify with what I'm trying to do, who I am, who I'm trying to be, all that shit. So yeah, you got this. Just, and I think it's really important to journal. I recommend that to everyone, especially for anyone who cannot afford therapy at this time, because I know sometimes it's a bit much, but I do recommend it heavily. It's important to invest in yourself, especially when it comes down to your mental health. But if you are not at that place where you're able to do that, I believe that you should journal. Get all those ideas out, and you could just have like one journal or a journal session to where you can just rage And then you can burn that bitch. You don't have to keep it. Just burn all those nasty thoughts that just keep plaguing you. Let me scoot that back over. That just keep plaguing you for whatever reason, because it's not for you. It's not for you. Then we have grounding. Rooted. Trigger statement, I am somewhere else. Trigger statement, I am somewhere else. True statement, right here, now, everything is perfect. Align your energy to shift the material plane where it is needed to help you complete what you have set out to do. Yes. If your thoughts are too wrapped up in things that don't matter, you're not going to be able to manifest what you want. And again, you are a powerful manifester. But if your thoughts are not aligned, if you are not grounded, if you are feeling a lot of self-doubt and conflicting thoughts with where you're trying to go and who you are, it's going to be very difficult to manifest. Speaking from experience, But again, you've got this. And again, you also have to look at everything from a higher perspective, because if you're too focused on these small details of shoulda, coulda, wouldas, this happened in the past, oh my God, what was me? You're not paying attention to the present moment. And it's like, literally, you have everything you need. And if you want more, then you need to make sure that your energy is aligned. You need to make sure that you're centered and grounded and connected to your body as well. So we have hematite, which is this crystal right here. Oh yeah, my rings are hematite actually. Very magnetic. Grounding, magnetic pull, focus. With a magnetism that is sky high, hematite has the ability to absorb negative emotions and create strong. Whoa. Hold on. Okay. Hematite has the ability to absorb negative emotions and create strong energetic boundaries. Its authoritarian force releases self-imposed limitations, a powerful stone to use in grounding oneself. Hematite activates the root chakra and balances out the 7 chakras by pulling toxicity from your aura. Derived from the Latin word for blood, hematite cleanses the blood. Hold on. Hematite cleanses the blood in the body by promoting circulation and energizing the nervous system to begin anew. Use hematite when you need that extra boost. Look at God. Look at God. Hematite, maybe that's the stone that you need to get. Maybe you're just not very grounded right now, because once you're literally in it, I can't preach this enough. When you are grounded, everything just flows so smoothly. Like it's amazing. So when you are rooted, stay rooted in who you are. Understand that everything in this moment is perfect. You are exactly where you need to be. And I mentioned bloodline and blood, so hematite could be, because I got these rings and I just feel every single time I put them on, I feel really, really good. I'm really glad I invested in myself. I got these rings. They were like, the crystal shop that I got them from, they were like $10 a piece. It's not a very steep investment, but it's still an investment in myself, because again, I'm trying to stay grounded. I'm trying to do the things I need to do, because I got places I'm trying to fucking go. So hematite is a very good stone. Like I mentioned, selenite as well. That's a very, very good stone too. And also be mindful of what you're eating and what you're consuming as well, because that also plays a role in your blood as well. I don't know, maybe get checked out just to make sure everything's okay. I don't feel as though anything is wrong, but just to make sure that all your levels are correct. Because there have been times, like for myself, where I've been, like, as an example, low on iron, and that affects me as well. So that's just an example of things that you should probably keep in mind to make sure that everything is flowing smoothly from within. Take care of yourself. Nourish yourself. You got this. I'm so proud of you. I'm excited to let me know what you've been manifesting, or if there's any moments where you're like, Damn, that came into my life much quicker than I thought. So if those kind of moments have happened to you, let me know, because I'm curious to see like what's been going on in your life. And you're just magical and amazing, and your guides just want to send you all the love, inspiration, gratitude for just being your authentic self, but also taking care of you is the most important thing. And Mother Gaia is also very proud of you as well. So use your gifts to help yourself, but also use your gifts to help others. And I know that you will. But again, take breaks when needed. View everything from a higher perspective, because you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. And what you're trying to create and manifest and bring into this realm is much bigger than you think. Because you think that you're just focusing on this little garden. But your guides are like, hey, we're going to give you an extra couple acres. But we'll help with some of the work, though. You ain't got to do this part all on your own. If that makes sense. So good luck. Mwah. Wishing you all the best. Have a good one. Pile number 2, okay? Bye. Hello, pile number 3. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. I'm going to start off with your tarot cards first, and then we're going to get into some oracle cards right after. So let's see what your guides from above have to say to you right now. Okay. Okay, I don't normally read this particular deck in reverse. And reverse doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Some readers say otherwise, but I read more intuitively. And I'm just gonna, say what I feel. So we have the 9 of Cups. The number 9 represents completion. And also unpacking as well. So I feel like you're in this phase where you're trying to leave a lot of old things behind, whether that be physical. It could be mostly emotional, since the cups represent your emotions and the things that are held, that are stored. And again, emotions, physical things, even individuals, mindsets, ways of doing things, patterns, whether they be positive or negative, such as like something toxic. And this person is just, blushing and sitting very contently. So I feel like you're at this place, since there's a lot of red, I'm just feeling a lot of like creativity and passion from that particular color. And so what I'm getting is that where you are right now with your passions and with your creativity, you're just really content with where things are. And you're so grounded and balanced. And I do believe that your guides are really congratulating you by staying in this state, because we come over to the Temperance card, which is an angel. And its wings kind of, here, let me move this so you can see it. Its wings are extending past the card, which means that your potential goes further than you believe it can go. Like, you're more powerful than you think you are. And this card also represents the sign of Sagittarius, so higher knowledge, traveling overseas, independence. Did I say higher knowledge? Yes. Enlightenment. Yeah. I was like, I can't remember all of what I said, but this card also represents alchemy, so taking two things that don't go quite together, or like logically they don't seem like they go together, and then you're creating something different, and when I mentioned grounded in this card, the angel's foot is in water and on the earth. So you're in tune with your emotions and with everything that's on the earthly realm as well, which is really important, because when you have this balance and when you're feeling centered and when you're creating, because you're also a master manifestor as well, the possibilities are endless. And so you're at this stage right here where you're just trying to create, but you need to make sure that you're continuing on this journey. Because there is an entirely new path that is destined for you as well. But again, like in the Three of Pentacles, you have to keep going. Hi, baby. You have to keep going. This for the Three of Pentacles, I'm feeling that when it comes down to sorry, I'm getting distracted by my cat. When it comes down to financial endeavors, make sure that you're continuing to work on those projects. Make sure that you're willing to collaborate, because there's this one person, but it didn't take just one person to build this entire piece. It probably took a pair of extra hands to make sure that everything was kind of fitting properly, if that makes sense. So be willing to collaborate. That's definitely Sagittarius energy right there. And then the more that you're willing to collaborate and learn from others, again, very much Sagittarius energy, it's just going to create even more for you. So the cards that came out in reverse, I'm feeling that this is the Eight of Wands. So when everything is aligned, it moves very quickly. But I feel like right now your guides are wanting you to just gather information, gather skills, collaborate. And so it might feel like things are very delayed, because when this card is upright, everything is just flowing smoothly, just like this river at the bottom. But at this moment, it kind of feels like things are delayed. But I don't want you to get discouraged. But I do feel like you're not going to be in that energy for long, because we do have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, which is great. This is all about lack mindsets, especially revolving around finances. So it's just you have to make sure that your purpose is much bigger than you believe that it is. Your potential is much greater than you think that it is, because you think that your purpose and who you are only, how can I best explain this? You might believe that your purpose and what you're doing on this earth is it, but the work that you're doing on earth is actually opening doors for you on the spiritual realm as well. So it's all of that is in line. So there's certain things the more you're prepared, the more you continue to learn, the more you continue to collaborate with others and build something stable for yourself, especially if it's in the realm of finances, you're going to be receiving much more than what you thought, because you're co-creating with God, with the universe, with source, and with your guides. So when they see that you're putting in the work, they're going to put individuals, certain situations and opportunities in place for you to take advantage of, so that you can, be in a little bit more alignment with where you're trying to go. But again, you just have to make sure that you don't get too discouraged when things feel like they're not moving as fast as you want. And then we do have the Nine of Wands that came out in reverse. And the wands, just like the Eight of Wands, they represent your passions. So again, when you're feeling discouraged, that I feel like that's a moment to just kind of take a break, to be honest. Because I think in those moments you need to kind of separate limiting beliefs from who you really are. You know, like if self-doubt and low self-esteem are kind of creeping in, that's when you need to take a break and kind of reevaluate where you're going and really look at everything from a higher perspective and understand that what you're trying to create is much grander than what you would expect. Because when your guides see that you're willing to put in the work, they're willing to grant you so much more. But you just have to put in the work. And you have to, with the 9 of Wands, this is someone who may have closed themselves off from the world because they feel very alone, very isolated, maybe even very hurt by certain things that have happened in life. But again, you can't, this is not the time to close yourself off from the world, because like with the 8 of Wands, say for instance, like this wand right here is you. This person is someone who's really good at business. This is someone who is good at graphic design. This person is good at building websites. This person is good at marketing. So there's a lot that kind of, like, if it's business related, there's a lot of individuals that need to be set in place before whatever you're building can just pop off. And I think that's what your guys are really wanting you to understand. Because, you know, every single person, like if you're ordering something from Amazon, for example, sometimes, you know, things can come in like 2 days. Other things may take a little bit longer. So what you have to keep in mind is that, like I mentioned with this card, like there's so many different people involved, because you have the person who has the product, who made the product, who wraps the product, who puts the label on it, handles shipping. It goes through several hands before it gets to you. And then you have the Amazon driver, or it might be passed off to a post office worker, or the USPS, yes. Whatever, postal worker or what, you know. So there's a lot that happens in the process of you receiving this one package. So just keep that in mind, because I think that's what you have to, when I say look at things from a higher perspective, that's what I mean, because there's a lot of individuals involved with what you're trying to create, because you can't do this alone, because this person cannot create this cathedral, or, you know, if we want to kind of minimize that, a person cannot create the stained glass window alone. It would take time. They probably did, but again, if they would have been willing to collaborate with others, it might have gone by just a little bit quicker, you know. So let's see what else we have. Akashic field. Archangel Gabriel. And I believe this is the same. I believe this is Archangel Gabriel, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might be Archangel Michael, but I believe it's Gabriel. I can't remember. Anyway, it's okay. You got a lot of angels on your side. You know, point blank period. So we have, of course, Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is the god, Gabriel is the angel of communication. In nature. In balance. Creation. Because it's also the number 3 as well. Because, like, you need, masculine and feminine energies, or positive and negative, yin and yang, to create life. Yeah, because you got the 3 of Pentacles right here too, and this particular angel has the triangle, which is also, some would say, like the Holy Trinity. Because in Christianity, people believe, or people have been told, that the Holy Trinity involves God, the Son, the Holy Spirit, which in all honesty doesn't really make a lot of sense in comparison to ancient Kemetic beliefs where it's father, mother, and then the son, because the father and mother have to come together in order to create a son. So you have the giver. How can I describe? I'm trying to there's like a lot of messages coming through, and I'm trying to make sure that I explain them as best to my ability so that I'm understood. But because we have feminine energy, which is all about receiving, your intuition, darkness, like the womb. And then we have the masculine energy, which is action, the external world, putting things in motion, the light. So you're putting those two things together. That's alchemy. Positive and negative, like a battery. Making sure the energy is flowing correctly to make sure that everything is in balance. And with the Akashic field, what I'm feeling with this card, like what I mentioned before, it's like what you're creating is so much bigger than what you think. Because on Earth, our perspective is so limited because we limit our perspective to what we can physically see. And you also have to keep in mind that your intuition is also important. So if you feel that amazing and beautiful things are coming, then it's going to come. And I feel like this is a sign that like there's a lot of different, this is the 8 of Wands right here as well. There's a lot of different conditions. There's a lot of opportunities and individuals and situations that are coming together in order to create this. And Archangel Gabriel is definitely one of your guides who is probably going to be communicating with you quite often. And I don't mean to give Archangel Gabriel a gender. Because angels are very androgynous. Yeah, just like with us, a lot of, I will say, like I mentioned before, the positive and negative, the feminine and the masculine, we both have these energies within us. So we have to know when to rest, when to keep moving, let me back up. With the feminine energy, we have to know when to rest, when to take care of ourselves, when to nurture ourselves, when to retreat, when to listen to our intuition, because sometimes our intuition will tell us things that we may not see on the physical realm, that masculine energy, until much later. So it's like you feel these things coming together, but you just don't see them. And I think that's where the self-doubt is coming in, because it's like you're kind of doubting what you're feeling in some moments, which is not, it's completely understandable, but it's not. In the grand scheme of things, when you're thinking about the spiritual and the earthly realms, as above, so below, it's not realistic to just kind of not believe in what you're feeling, because your intuition is you're very balanced right now. And definitely call upon Archangel Gabriel for guidance as well. For friendship, for these partnerships, if you're not sure what to say in certain situations, ask Archangel Gabriel. And when it comes down to angels and our guides, they speak and communicate with us in so many different ways. Like it could be through song lyrics. Oh my God, I've had it happen so many times, and it's always so funny because it's like a certain lyric that just resonates a lot deeper than it probably should, but it does because it's meant for me to hear. So your goal is to stay balanced and consistently remember and remind yourself that there's a much bigger game at play right now. There's a lot of different components to what's being created. Because whatever you're trying to do, you can't do it alone. Normally in the Three of Pentacles, there's 3 people being shown in the card. So we have the Alchemist. Look at that. Look at it. Hold on, let me hold that up. The Alchemist. Hopefully you can see that clearly. And there's 2. Look at it. Speak, Jesus. Let me make sure that. Okay, there we go. In play. Look at it. Yeah, and it's so amazing. With dolphins, they mate for life. Frequencies. They communicate through song. Yeah, I said, oh my God, look at I am so sorry if you're wearing headphones because I'm clapping hella loud, but dolphins communicate through sound. So your guides they probably have been communicating with you through music, especially Archangel Gabriel or Archangel Michael. I can't remember if this is Gabriel or Michael, but I feel like it's Gabriel. I don't know. I can't remember. It could be either or. It really doesn't matter, to be honest. I mean, either or, I'm like, you can definitely call on either of these angels. They're more than willing to assist you. But I do think that Archangel Gabriel is the one that really wants to build a closer bond with you at this moment. But play is very important. Yeah, so work and play is also very important as well. Especially when it comes down to getting in nature, having fun, singing. Yeah, this is going to help you to stay more grounded. Because if you're a little too focused on what you're trying to create, you're going to kind of lose your momentum and lose, 8 of Wands. You're going to lose your momentum. And then with the Alchemist, you're creating so much out of nothing. And people don't realize that when your emotions are balanced, it makes things a lot more easier to it makes it so easy to create. So easy to create. And it's like the hands, they're holding like a seed. Like I mentioned before with feminine energy or the negative energy, like in a battery, it's receiving energy. And also with feminine energy, which correlates to the color black, like in the symbol, the yin and yang, black represents the womb. I say this all the time because I heard this, I can't remember from where, but it's like you plant seeds in darkness. That's why the ancient Cometians really loved the color black, because it represents the womb. It represents where certain things are going to be birthed from. Wow. Wow. Okay, we're gonna get some affirmations for you as well. So let me shuffle these real quick. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there as well. Like with Archangel Gabriel, it's all about collaboration and communicating with others. And there's I feel like there's going to be a lot of synchronicities and messages coming through, because, you know, Gabriel is going to be jumping from heaven to earth, like as above so below. So Gabriel's going to be jumping from heaven to earth in order to relay certain messages. So definitely keep, you know, if you receive a message either through your dreams, through songs, I strongly recommend writing them down so that you can come back to it later, because it might mean something, you know, in the future, because you never know. Okay. We have Cassia. Confidence. Trigger statement, I can't do that. True statement, I am a light. Step forward and be the bright light that you are. Serve your purpose to the world by sharing your amazing gifts. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely mentioned like collaborating with others. Because and that's also very Sagittarius energy, which is the Temperance card. Sagittarius individuals, which is like myself, love to have conversations with others, love to share information with others. Like I said, higher knowledge. Traveling could also be very important for you. Also, I'm feeling with this one, if there's any travel plans that you probably wanted to take, now might not be the best time. Because I feel like there's going to be some sort of delay, and I think, again, your guides just want you to kind of sit back and take a break for a minute and really just observe and learn and collaborate with others, share your knowledge however you see fit. Then we have Eucalyptus. Reset. Trigger statement, I am sick. True statement, I am alive. It is time to embrace a new way of being, one filled with health and freedom to create a new reality. Yes, take care of your body. Because people will say YOLO and, you know, do all this stupid shit to their bodies and not really care. Like, I'm all for, you know, going out, having a couple drinks and shit like that. But this is just an example. But when it gets to that point where you can't handle going out and not getting blacked out or something, like this person's face is so, like, flush. You know, because your body is like, this is the only body that you have in this lifetime. And you got a long way to go before, you know, your body is at that point where it's going to start giving up and slowing down. So you have a long ass way to go. But in this moment, you need to take care of yourself in the best of your ability. And also when you are, you know, working a little too hard and not playing or not resting, you know, in that feminine energy, like I mentioned before, you will feel sick. You know, your body will let you know, like, hey, I cannot go any further. I need to take a break. Please listen to me. For the love of God. Then we have encouraging, motivation. Trigger statement, I don't know where to start. True statement, I take action now. You will find clarity and the ability to create now. This is your time to make things happen. Yeah. I always recommend, I do this myself, you know, listening to affirmations and subliminal messages as well, to reprogram your self-conscious to make sure that you can stay motivated. Like, there's a lot of different ways. And listening, you know, I'm playing the throat chakra frequency. I can't remember what the hertz number that is, but, you know, that's another really great way to keep your energy high so that you're continuously creating the life that you want. And then comforting. Consolidation. Trigger statement, I cannot go on. True statement, my heart is light. Please hold space for the feelings you have, honor them and be with them. Your burden will be lightened. Yeah, I mean, it might seem very overwhelming right now, for sure, depending on what you're going through. But it's the journey's not over. Like, you have this whole other path that you still, like, you're just, like, this angel is just taking a break now, you know, manifesting some some stuff, and then the angel is gonna move on. So that's what you're doing right now. You're just learning, creating, building on the knowledge that you already have in order to continue your journey, and that's where you are right now. You know, just keep going, please. Then worthy, hope you can see that. Okay. Kapaiba, I think that's how you say it. Trigger statement: I am ashamed. True statement: I am cherished. There are connections to ancestral and childhood memories that are ready to be healed. Allow divine light to shine within. And I believe I mentioned that with the 9 of Cups. Like, there could be mindsets and things of that nature that need to be let go, but in return, your guides and yourself are replacing those negative beliefs with more positive ones. And like I mentioned toxic. Yeah, I did mention the word toxic as well. So, because a lot of the beliefs that you may have, and it could be revolving around Christianity or some sort of religion, because we have the 5 of Pentacles, which is on the outside of a church, and the 3 of Pentacles as well. And so, because people in Christianity, which I grew up Southern Baptist, you know, they believe that God or angels only spoke through the pastor, but that's not true. Or they believe that the way the world should operate is only one way, but that's very limiting, because God, our angels, spirit, source, it's so abundant. It's so abundant. Just take a look outside at Mother Nature. These birds aren't stressing the fuck out, you know, about where they're going to get food next. It's all like they always know that it's going to be available. Even if it's a cloudy day, trees always know that they're going to get sunlight eventually. And they're going to get more than enough. Yeah. So the crystal for you to keep in mind, or maybe even purchase, it's up to you, is malachite. This is what it looks like on this card. Malachite cleanses trauma, intensity, and transformation. Malachite takes no prisoners, at least with your spiritual journey. A powerful conduit for energy, malachite cleanses the emotional body of trauma, whether from this life or a past life. A teacher of emotional responsibility, malachite asks that you take accountability for your feelings and helps you release patterns that no longer serve you. Look deep within the whirls and patterns of malachite to access other dimensions within yourself. Explore different timelines and hidden messages. Bring your subconscious to light. This is the energy of Scorpio, Capricorn, and Venus. Yeah. Again, like I said before, and also this is the time to, again, play and observe different elements of yourself, because these elements could also help you progress in the future. Like, you might have certain skills that you might have not thought about that could actually propel you into a completely new opportunity or situation that's going to be very beneficial for your growth. I'm trying to see if I'm getting any other messages. But yeah, you are worthy of this new life. You are worthy of... I'm gonna say this all the time, and I say this to myself consistently. You are worthy of everything your heart desires. And just if there's certain things that happen in childhood or through religion and they taught you that God's love has limitations, God's love is unconditional. We have to stop putting conditions on love. And I think in childhood, you know, that might have been something that was an issue, and I think that might be why you could be a little worrisome about collaborating with others because you may not feel worthy enough. Because if certain individuals in childhood or certain mindsets that were passed down from your ancestors equals unworthiness, or I won't be capable of this, that, and the third, or yeah, it's not true. And your guides really want you to just keep going. And in those moments that you are not motivated with the one thing that you're working on, maybe hop to something else. And maybe, you know, like in this card play, maybe try to find some new hobbies. There we go. Try to find some new hobbies, you know, like knitting, crocheting, drawing, coloring, going for walks, having picnics, engaging with others however you see fit, writing, and just write what you feel. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Just write literally what you feel. It's only for your eyes only, unless you want to share one day. So all right, pile number 3. Mwah. Wishing you all the best, and yeah, sending you love, sending you light, and talk to your guides because they are more than willing to answer back. You know, like, they truly love you. They've been watching you for a very long time, and they're proud of what you've been able to heal and how far you've come, but you still have a little ways to go, and that's okay. So bye, pile number 3. Have a good one, okay?